here we are, guys, at the entrance, and this is from Hazeltine looking into the property. I'm facing west, and that is the iconic Sunkist Building. As you can see, when you pull in here, you've got the main parking area is here. Here's a look at the north elevation. So you're now facing due north right now. You can see this large parking lot right here. There is the Fashion Square across the street, as you can see. And let's keep going. I'm going to show you a little bit more here. Love all these cool murals and painting that they did on the lower level there, just to give it some flair. Kind of interesting. It's actually not part of the original Sunkist, that there would have been a planter on a descending slope coming off of that top level, just like you saw by the dog park on all four sides. That's kind of how it was worked. So this was all retained too. And as you can see, you've got all these walkways, planters, drought resistant landscaping, cool little places to sit. That's a completely new walkway outside. There's parking for lots of electric vehicles, 10 or 12 electric vehicle parking there. That's not even counting the parking on the inside. And that's one of the units right there. So you can see, the scale of it. It's at least 4 stories. That's the corner of Hazeltine and Riverside that I was showing you guys earlier. You can see all the concrete there, all the stacked concrete cinder block there. That's all parking garage and maintenance and stuff like that. So you're going to be able to do some parking there for retail. I'll show you in there. There's another view. Interesting design and color. I mean, I guess they tied it in to the property. It's maybe not, in my opinion, as good as it could have been. Kind of don't like that, the wood siding with the yellow, and it just kind of has an interesting, kind of different, more, I don't know, like a dorm room type look and feel, but whatever. Cool thing they added there, that little orange facade. All right, so here's the parking entrance. This is the main parking entrance here for the retail. This is, and probably going to be parking for some of the unit owners above, unless there's another parking further down. But I think this might be just the retail. So see the sign on the left says Ministry of Coffee. They're a tenant for sure. And then of course, Trader Joe's, we all know that's coming in here. Here's the look of what your entrance into Trader Joe's is going to look like when you come in. Really bright, cheerful, and colory. Lots of parking spaces. I imagine it's going to be better than the Trader Joe's parking situation across the street. But, if they fill this up with all the retail, if they sell out all the retail and it's a busy day, I would imagine it's still going to be, I wouldn't say challenging, but still going to be a thing to find parking. But I would argue that Trader Joe's feels like they've checked that box and filled up some of or checked the box on that issue, which is great food and good prices, conveniency with, but no parking. So anyways, here we go again, back to the Trader Joe's. And there's, as you can see, where the shopping carts are going to go. As you can see, they did the traditional Trader Joe's siding on the wall there. Over there to your right, you can see that little wood shiplap. And then here's the elevator. I just thought I'd try and go in, and I pressed the button and the elevator worked. So I thought to myself, let's just go on up. So elevator's fully functional. A lot of the property is already ready to go. So I guess you'll park down there, grab your shopping cart, and come into the elevator. A little branding on the elevator, Citrus Commons there. You're going to come inside, and then once the door opens, you're coming out onto that main level, which is on Riverside Drive. So the door opens, you're at the ground level entrance. That's part of the Trader Joe's right there. There's your entrance coming in, and then that of course will be filled with shopping carts. So you'll grab your cart, boom, go right inside and on your way. And hard to see because of the reflection, but all the build out is pretty much done. It's being stocked as we speak. They're going through inventory and kind of getting things ready. Yeah, you can see them stocking the shelves, and there's more space for shopping carts and stuff. And again, just beautifully, like all the hardscape on this, the hardscaping on this property is probably the most impressive. Whoever they hired, the contractor did an amazing job. Again, I love the sand finish, all these railings, cool Sherman Oaks mural on the side. I think that kind of gives a little bit of flavor and flair. Greetings from Sherman Oaks. And then a little nod to the Sunkist Building there, which, by the way, was a very big and important commercial property in the San Fernando Valley area for years, managing Sunkist operations here on the West Coast. Again, another walkways down there to Riverside, plenty of ingress and egress, lots of retail space available, thousands of square feet still available. That one's going to face Riverside, but the other ones are to the east of Trader Joe's. All right, so here we are. Again, there is Hazeltine over there. That was the entrance. Just going to show you some more of the space here. Love this diamond pattern concrete area here. It's all sand finish on the concrete too, by the way. So it's not just, a cheap concrete job. This is very beautifully, very expensively done. Really nice. I'm not sure what that flat pad is going to be for. Maybe they'll turn it into like an amphitheater of some kind. This is a handicap walkway here that allows people to get to that space from Hazeltine. So they obviously spent a considerable amount of money on this handicap access here with the intention of ensuring that people can safely get to that space, probably for some kind of event or demonstration. And then there's the sand finish on the concrete retaining wall there. Again, all really highly done. Beautiful planters, drought-resistant landscaping. There's another view of the Sunkist Building there. As you can see, the IMT residential logo there. That's going to change possibly at some point when they get a tenant. Here is the dog area. This is the dog park. How cool is that? They got this beautiful vertical fencing system here. Benches, there's places to grab your dog bags for any poop, places for them to kind of run around. Really nice that they did that and thought of everything. Again, the iconic Sunkist Building there. They're looking for a tenant, so we'll see who's going to ultimately wind up being the tenant there. And this is the west side of the property. You can see the beautiful retaining wall that they built here, which is really fascinating. If you remember, this used to be a slope just like the other sides with staircase that went down. So they retained the hillside with this massive concrete retaining wall structure and a planter. And then check out this cool walkway and railing system here. The vertical slats you see on the upper part of the screen, that's the parking. And then they've got this really nice walkway here. All the materials and the finishes are very organic and really cool and modern. You can see how this walkway here is suspended on these posts, which is super cool. And then that's just one of the buildings there with units. Trader Joe's would be to your right of your screen. And then this is another parking garage downstairs. So, I mean, just the amount of parking in this complex is unbelievable. So there's going to be, I think, hundreds, if not thousands, of parking spaces. I'll go through that in detail with you. Here we are pulling up to Riverside from Hazeltine. There's the cool little mural on the left side. On the right side of the street, obviously, is the Fashion Square. There's the intersection. There's the DWP on the corner. So this just gives you an idea of basically where we are.